Hello, this is Jacob Roden. This is my static study student project. Here I'll be showing you how to perform a static study and then make revisions to your part based on that static study. So here we can see just the basic part that I made. We have kind of a hanging wall hook. You can see obviously kind of the base that goes flat against the wall, the hole that you might put a screw or nail through, and then here we can see the hook itself. So the way that you want to take this over to static study is open up obviously your 3D experience kind of workbenches, and go to static study right here. Click on that. It should automatically open the part that you're on. Here obviously we can see that we're in static study. You're going to want to open your assistant. Sometimes I have the issue where this won't open, so you can press F1 to get help, which will show you, how to do your static study and everything, and you close that up and assistant will open up for you. So materials, obviously we can see the list of things that have been selected and have already been done. So materials, obviously we can see that with that green check mark, a material has been applied. So you could go through your palette and everything, or in your part design workbench over here, you can just go down and apply your materials as you need, and you can see that I already applied my ABS plastic material. So then back in the static study, next we have our boundary conditions. We can see kind of the little descriptions. They restrict the motion of certain surfaces in your model. So you have things like clamps, sliders, hinges. So we're just going to add a clamp here. We're going to say that this kind of face right here is clamped because maybe we have the head of our screw or the head of our nails holding on really onto that little face and everything. So we'll select that. We can see here it says that boundary conditions have been applied. We'll go over to loads. So the loads can represent any number of external influences. So say we're going to put a coat down on this little coat rack. We'll apply a pressure. We can select this kind of tip where I might be hanging the coat or a hat or something else on it. And then we want to make sure that we put in our pressure. So for this, we're just going to put in 100 just as kind of a number to throw out there. And now this simulate will show up as green. We can just press the simulate button. You can also go, instead of going through the assistant, all of these things are down here. So we can just press simulate down here, and we'll do the exact same thing. We can see it's going to run the simulation and prep it just through some little pop-ups. Depending on your computer hardware, this could take a little bit, this could take a while, kind of just depends. Obviously we can see here, based on the complexity of our part, it doesn't take too long. So once it says the simulation is complete, you can just press close on that little window that pops up, and then we can see that we're in the results tab. So here we can see our von Mises stress, which the more yellow to red it is, the more stress the kind of location is. So we can see some stress right here on the bottom of this kind of countersunk hole. And then we can also see right here at the base of the hook, especially down at the bottom and the top, we can see that because there's force being applied down here, it's kind of stretching and deforming this. Speaking of deformation, we can also go see the deformation. We can see the displacement, which is showing how much something is moving. So we can obviously see that the top of the hook's moving a lot based on all the force being applied to it. There's also some movement down here at the bottom, and if we do a side view, we can see how the bottom is kind of being angled as well as all this force is being applied down. It's kind of shifting it over. We have our reaction force vector, which is showing how the body is going to be reacting to the forces being applied to it right here at the boundary condition points. You can also see the compression and the tension right here. So where the part's compressing and where it's moving, where there's tension in it. If we go back to our von Mises stress, what we can also do, because obviously this is not moving, if we want to see what it's going to look like as the force is being applied, we can obviously look at it here on the assistant, or we can go down here in the results thing. We can play the animation. And now, obviously this is going way too fast for us to see. If we press pause, we can kind of cycle through it and see as it goes through. What we can also do is we can go here into our time control, go to speed right here, set the speed a little bit lower, we'll press play down here, and we can see now it's going at a little bit more watchable of a pace, and we can see as that stress is being applied and as things are being moved and shifted and deformed. So now we have to think about, okay, how can we change this hook to make these stresses, these parts of the part body deform less? And now obviously there's a lot of options. You could thicken certain pieces, you could change the way it's being held, maybe changing the location of this hole could stop the whole overall body stress, the overall kind of forces pushing this back. So we will show you that in part 2. So yeah, thank you for watching, appreciate it.